Red shining, everybody. It is your lovely woman of life, Mrs. Shantay. And we are here on a lovely Mercury retrograde wisdom of the week Wednesday. And I want to make sure you guys hear me very clearly. Wednesday, not Wednesday, like the way it's spelled out. I'm saying Wednesday, like we're winning today. Win. Even though I spell it like they spell it with the WEDNESDAY. I'm trying to set this little tripod up here with my little ring light. I had to join the clan and get me a ring light going. So to all of my listeners, to all of my viewers, I hope you guys are having a lovely Wednesday. Hold on, let me focus a little bit. It is hot in this house of mine. Okay, got my little ring light set up. I'm gonna give myself a little air because this one might purposely be a long one. Pause. Because when we talk about fears, honey, listen, fears be like, whoa. They come in all shapes, forms, sizes, fashions, facets, dimensions, lives, and they come in everything, in every way you can imagine and can't imagine. So, let's see here. I want to change some things on my banners. Give everybody else some time. I'm going to clear the energy in here. I always like to ring a bell or make some, when I get better at my flute, my native flute, I'll play some music for y'all. That way we can clear out this energy. I'm lighting an incense. This incense is a patchouli incense. And the reason why I'm lighting this patchouli incense is because patchouli is a healing scent. It's a healing herb, and it's a masculine herb as well. So I want to light this so we can heal all the blockages we have from speaking to our fears, because that's one of the biggest issues. And for those of you on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter that can see me, get some of this good incense energy. Look like a magic wand. I hope somebody get a screenshot for me. Bing! I like magic wands. I think we all have a magic wand. It's just whether or not we want to wave it. And I'm going to let my skeleton, my meditating skeleton, hold this incense for us. And then I'm going to get my little banner up here going so we can get this party started. So I'm open to receiving messages for questions and comments, or however you want to put it, about personal fears, because it's 2022 and we don't have time for fears. And we got a guest that wants to join. The Jester's promoting Jester. He can join. She can join. That'll help give me some time to give other people time to join. Hello there.
How are you?
I am peachy. How are you?
Worse than some, better than most.
Oh, well, that I consider that to be balance.
Well, it's just the thing I say, because if you think about it, I'm worse than some. That means there are just a few that are better than me, but I am better than most.
And that's why it's balanced, because there's good and bad in everything and everyone.
Phenomenal. Absolutely. But I saw your title, Personal Fears, And that must be a thing today because there's a lot of people talking about fear. And you mind if I tell you my take on fear?
I'm open to it. And just before you speak, I want to make sure that my other listeners that are able to see me, we're on the Wisdom app as well. So if you don't see any of his comments or him joining anything, it's because he's on the Wisdom app with us. So the Jesters? What's your screen name? I'm sorry, the Jesters Promoting Company. So go ahead, Jester, introduce yourself and feel free to speak.
Well, I'm the Jester from the Jesters Promoting Company. I have a podcast. I don't know if I can promote that on your show or not.
Sure.
It's called Sessions with the Jester. It's a news commentary, and we smoke a lot of weed.
Hey.
That's what we do.
I like the sound of that.
Yes, ma'am. That's what we do. But my take on fear is fear isn't real. Fear is a set of events you've created in your head. Fear is imaginary. It's made up.
Okay. I'm liking the way this is going on. I like the sound of this mental thing.
Absolutely. I forgot. I think I don't know. I was into Scientology for maybe a month until I found out they were crazy. But no, that's the thing. They were crazy. It's scary because the shit they taught worked.
Okay.
And that's what made me so good at my job. I was a door-to-door salesman. And they teach you how to control people using your words and your body language. I'm like, that's scary. So I'm like, I'm done with you.
Wow. Okay, so I've been in the knowing of, body language speaks volumes for us and so what and so forth. But do you mind sharing just a little bit more of that?
Absolutely. Well, there was a part of the pitch because you had to learn the pitch word for word, and for every word there was an action. There was a point where you had to have them go get their gas or electric bill. So what you would do is say, only thing I need to see, just like I saw from Tom, Dick, and Harry, your neighbors, say their names and point, is any copy of your gas and electric bill. So if you just go ahead and grab that, look over their shoulder, point over their shoulder. If you just go ahead and grab that, I'll wait right here. Kind of turn your back and act like you're busy writing. 9 times out of 10 people just go get that bill and bring it back to you, and you get $90.
Wow.
Yep.
That's like a real mind fuck.
It is. I know. That's why I stopped doing it, because I'm like, they're teaching you how to fuck people, and it's just not what I wanted to do.
Okay, so I've always wanted to, I don't want to say practice Scientology, but I've definitely wanted to know more about it, just to be in the knowing, to
be wise.
Yes, to be wise. So how did you find yourself into getting into doing that, if you don't mind me asking?
Not at all. I was in a tough spot in life. I just left my wife. I was just suffered a brain injury, and I was working for a guy, kind of just collecting a paycheck, not doing anything. So he called me in. I thought he was going to fire me, so I just hurried up and set up a couple interviews, and one of them was with a door-to-door sales job. I go there. I'm interested. I get into it, and come to find out, the guy running that sales office was a Scientologist. So it just hand in hand.
Interesting. You and I are going to have to talk more, because you got some things, you got some stones and some jewels that I wouldn't mind having in my arsenal.
Well, I'll give you a follow.
Thank you so much, and I'll give you a follow back. Now, before you go, I do want to ask, what makes you feel as though fear is a mental thing?
Because it is. I mean, if you whatever you fear, use that to guide you. You steer into fear, and you will see that real. All those thoughts that you imagined, that didn't happen. 99.999 times out of 100, that won't happen. You will be fine. And if you realize that, you'll achieve so much more in life.
I am going to say you are actually more than 1,000% right. Most times, most times, I feel like we play out so many scenarios in our mind that we make ourselves believe that what we've played out in our mind has already happened.
Paralyzed by fear.
That's very, very.
Some of the. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say that's very, very profound.
I read this somewhere. I forget where I read it. There are two things. How did it go? You either think too long and don't do nothing, or you do something and don't think enough.
Boy, when I tell you today is the day of wisdom, I have been getting all of these wonderful pieces of arsenal to have in my bag for life. And that is one that I will definitely be holding on to.
Absolutely. You should you should follow my podcast.
Where's your podcast located at?
Wherever you get your podcast.
Okay, that sounds like you're everywhere.
Yeah, Apple, Spotify, wherever.
All righty. I will definitely be tuning in and following with you.
Awesome.
Are you on social media?
I am. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. On my profile page is my Twitter link, and I can't remember what my name is there. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
But you can search. I know, I work out. Thanks for noticing.
Well, I definitely will be giving you a follow, and I more than thank you for those words of wisdom that you dropped with us today.
You are more than welcome. That's my job, to spread knowledge.
We need more people like you.
Don't I know it? Now, I'm not saying that narcissistically. I know it sounds it, but I'm just. There needs to be smarter people in the world.
It does, and you know what? I think there are a lot of very wise, intelligent, smart people in the world, knowledgeable people in the world. They just don't talk. They're hidden. They don't want to come out because of fear of what someone is going to say or do.
That's exactly right. Because the more you talk, the more insane you sound.
Yeah. And especially the more wise you are, the more crazier you seem. 100%.
You be safe, dear. Make your decisions well.
Yes, sir. You do the same. Stay safe and keep smiling.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're more than welcome. Thank you.
Well, that was one of our first guests on Wisdom, Damon Alvarez. Hello. Reaching out to us on Facebook, Woman of Life page. Please feel free to join and follow my page, Woman of Life, on Facebook. My YouTube channel on YouTube, Woman of Life. But to get to the point of this actual, there's Damon. Hold on. There we go. Give us one moment. Hello. How are you?
I'm good. I just saw you on. Wanted to just pop on, say hello. Talk a little bit about the topic, all that good stuff.
Yes. I feel like this is such a great time to speak about our fears, quote unquote, our mental fears, because it's a new day and age, and the things that are going on in life, I feel like so many people are just trapped in this place of fear that they don't know what to do, they don't know, like the fear of the unknown. It's just this huge amount of fear everywhere in so many shapes and fashions and such.
Yeah, that is true. Man, earlier I talked about how there are, things that are going on that are just going, some things are just out of your control, man. And that's just, that's just what it is. I say, caution, yes, but to be just totally in fear, you're just gonna lock yourself inside. Even with everything going on, you still see people doing business, starting businesses, traveling all the freaking time. I'm like, how are these folks doing? Like, you see somebody jumping on a plane like every other day. It's like, like talking about, you talk about some people who have no fear, like whatsoever. I mean, that is just. I mean, I know people who have businesses and they gotta travel for work, whatever. But it's like, man, like I want to be about that life, like for real. Just think about it, plan it out a little bit, and just do it. Thinking about, okay, well, I'm here now, but moving forward, I want to be, I want to be here. That fear is only going to hold you back, and it's only going to keep you at point A. And the thing is, to this year, we gotta, it's already like what is today, like the 19th, the 20th, something like that.
Yeah, we're in the number 2 day, a full 2 day. Like today is technically a number 8 day if you add all of the 2s together.
Right, and we just had the full moon. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's some stuff going on out here that we really need to. I feel like a lot of people just need to touch bases with themselves. Like you said, the personal fears. They need to, some folks need to clean out their own closets. That's cool. And everything. Just getting in touch with your inner selves, getting in touch with your higher self, just finding out really what's stopping you from doing, what it is you got to do. Because I'm me personally, I have to hold myself accountable. I mean, there are things that are just going to come up. That's what it is. You just, some things you just have to plan around. That's just, that's just how that goes. But the important thing is, is that, we have to keep moving. We gotta keep moving. This is definitely a year of building. This is definitely a year, for the go-getters. Like I just feel like the folks that like, if you are in the know right now, man, and I'm like more spiritually than anything. It's like, something is pushing you along, or something is poking at you, or you're feeling some type of expansion and growth, and even though you can't see it, but you can feel it, and you're like, man, something is really, really coming, and I gotta get up and I gotta move.
I definitely agree. I also feel like, how can I say this? With so much going on, people are so afraid that if they say something or do something, they're putting themselves in jeopardy. But if you don't say anything or you don't do anything, then you're still putting yourself in jeopardy. So it comes to a point of, when will you just stop thinking or feeling and get up and do? You know what I'm saying? Like, stop creating these things of what could happen, what might happen, and all of that jazz, and pick something. Pick your struggle, pick your battle. Are you gonna do something, or are you just gonna sit there and worry yourself to death?
Right, like if we come on this app and talk about personal fears, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and like, okay, well, y'all talking about this stuff, but what are you doing about it? Man, y'all sitting there complaining all the time, but what are you personally doing in your life to hold yourself accountable for whatever it is that you want? out of life, and you look around and you see everybody else just like I said, traveling, changing jobs, doing all of this stuff.
The lion-hearted. I call those the lion-hearted people, because they're like, you know what? Fuck this coronavirus shit. Fuck this stupid shit that they saying and doing with the politics. I'm gonna live my life. And believe it or not, I look up to those people, because they not letting anything, anybody, any place stop them. And we need to have more people like that with intentional movement. That's what I think.
Right. And it's, like if you want to get in shape and you're like, well, I don't have the motivation to do it at home, and I don't want to go to the gym because, I don't want to be around people because I don't want to get sick, It's like, well, I mean, you can go outside and at least take a walk, do something, like you don't have to just naturally be around, a bunch of people. But, it all starts with you as an individual. Again, you got to really ask yourself a question. What do you want? And naturally, how bad do you want it? But I'm glad that we aren't alone. Because we have our, I feel like people like us, we have no choice. Because we have our ancestors, our angel guides, we have God. So we always got there's always someone or something pushing us, no matter what, because we're gonna, we're always constantly gonna hear it, daily in our dreams,
man.
So, yeah.
So let me ask you this, because you and I both are spiritual people, and we know what that realm is like, to be an empath and be able to feel, see, know, hear, vibe, all of the above with the people of the world, whether we want to or not. So what advice would you share with people who are afraid, those other empathic people that don't even know they're empath, and some who do know that they're empath, but they're like, I don't want to go outside because I don't want to be absorbing all of this energy?
You have to look at it like, it's a gift and not a curse. And look at it like, no weapon, formed against you. So you can always, you can always call upon the spiritual bubble of protection. You can, so many different ways to do it. Like I said, ancestrally, you can use the Bible, the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, whatever it is that you're reading, you can use that. You can use, you can ask for wisdom. You can ask for discernment. Sometimes you ask not because you have not. Again, it goes back into that fear. That fear can be your quicksand. Or it can be, you can use it. It can be your quicksand, or it can be your fuel. You can be like you said. People are like, man, look, F this. I'm going out and I'm going to do. I'm going to live my life. Regardless of what's going on out here. So it's about the mindset. So it's about setting yourself up for greatness and setting your intentions and setting yourself to move forward, and within
that is something definitely to be reckoned with. So I want to share a little bit with you while I shuffle these cards for you. It's funny that you mentioned that your fear can be quicksand, because I'm gonna share the how this topic came to life in this realm, if I may. So I personally was experiencing, the mental, spiritual, disillusional fear myself. And in my dream, like you said, we all have those dreams. I literally saw people struggling to climb this hill of sand. And I said, ooh, they look like they struggling. I'm not going that way. So it was like I knew to find and choose the better route with that level of discernment. But it's so funny how the power fear has can take hold of you and imprison you in your own mind, in your actual living life. What can you share about that? And you had a jumping card for new beginnings. Uh-oh. He disappeared on me. There we go. He's coming back. Give me one moment. There you are.
So you were saying new beginnings?
Yes, you have a jumping card of new beginnings. But before we go into that, what would you share about fear having so much power over our physical life, our three-dimensional life? Or as Madonna says, our material world.
I think within a lot of us, we often fear things that we can't quite understand, or things that we can't quite naturally put our fingers on. We may see it in our minds, but just because we can't initially touch it, or maybe you have other people around you, and like you said, people are, I'm like that. I'm sensitive to people's, energy and all of that stuff. So, but within that, that allows me to know that I am special, that I'm gifted, that although somebody may be the mechanic and they may be the doctor and they may be the professor at the college, that I have something that they don't. I have all of these multiple spiritual gifts, and that's great that they're great at what they do, and I know that I am amazing at what I do, and and within that, everything that I have, continues to, it uplifts me and it empowers me. I have so many other different words that I can use than that can eradicate that fear. And I know fear, I know it comes in different forms and all of that stuff. But for me, the important thing is to be, radical, and to go out here and to do what it is that I said that I've always wanted to do, and not to be that scared like little kid anymore. Just to know that it's grown up time. It's now or never. Yes, I fit the mold. Yes, I fit the situation. I've been told time and time again, what possibly could happen. So what are you going to do? Are you going to invest in you? Or are you going to buy into yourself? Or are you going to buy into the negativity of the world? It's like, oh, it's all over, but the sun is still shining, and the wind is still blowing. There's still water in the ocean. There's still life. Where there's still life, there's hope, and you can breathe, and you can move forward and plan things out. Plan it out accordingly and call it in. I think a lot of people just don't have. A lot of people can be empowered, but they feel that they don't have that power to really ultimately manifest and go out there and to make things happen, in their lives. Taking total control and ownership and responsibility. I know it can be scary, and and whatever, but I'd rather take liberty over death any day of the week.
I am right there with you. And it's so funny that you said a liberty over death, because on this card, first of all, these are New Orleans deck cards, and you'll see the picture on Facebook and YouTube and things of that nature. So this is the Lafayette Cemetery on this card. And at the entrance, of course, there's the gate, and there's lined by beautiful trees, butterflies, the monarch butterfly, the iridescent butterfly, some beautiful yellow flowers and red flowers and purple flowers. And it's like all this beauty at the beginning. And then there's just trees that go down this path of the cemetery entrance. And then at the very end is an angel waiting. And what I'm getting and feeling and seeing that throughout this journey, it will seem a bit shaded and covered, as though there is no light, there is no way. But as long as you stay straight and narrow, they're waiting for you. Your gifts, because you have new gifts. Your people, because they're in the cemetery. Your enlightenment, because there's more that is coming to shine down on you. And this will be in the form of your heart and your emotions, guided all solely by spirit and protected by ancestors. And it's not a long journey. It could be 3 weeks, 3 months, the max 3 years. But I don't see it being 3 years. And watch your footstep. So make sure you are walking the path that feeds your heart's desire. If it doesn't feel good, it's not good. If it doesn't please you, it's not right. And that is guided by the number 2. And that's all for you, Mr. Alvarez.
Yep, I am here for all of that, and I thank you so much. And this the beginning of this year has been filled with so much spiritual growth and just growth. You know, like looking back to say like where I am now is not the same person that I was, you know, last year, the year before that, the year before that. You know, like I think Lauryn Hill said it best when she said, you know, y'all come to these concerts, y'all see me playing this music, but she said, every time you see me, you know, I'm a different person because of that growth, you know, and in that growth, you're going to see a different version of me. She said, even, you know, I have to go and reintroduce myself to my own parents, you know, because I'm not like, you know, in layman's terms, I'm not that same little girl that, you know, maybe I have those core values, but I've learned so much and I've grown and I've experienced, and, you know, these things are helping to shape me, and these things are going to help to catapult me, you know, into the person that you see today. And even with you, you know, you've grown leaps and bounds, and you know you're gonna continue to grow. You're gonna, you know, continue to show into all of these great and amazing things, and you know they're gonna be nannies for the kids, and you know it's gonna be homeschooling.
Ooh, child, wait, hold on, slow down. He said nannies for the children. Who them people gonna be? Cause woo, you talk about protective mommy. Get away from my babies. No. Woo.
These are like protected souls. You know.
Trust me. When you said that, and I shut up long enough to listen to myself and hear you speak before you spoke, I said these must be sent by the ancestors, cause. Mm-hmm.
They know how you are, about your family and about your tribe, and that's what that's what it's about, for both of us, and it's about growth, and it's about that tribe that's going to come in, and these people are going to do, like they're going to be so devoted in a sense, like it's almost going to be like we're going to have to tell them, like, look, don't worship me. Just, like, I'm glad you're here, but you remember on Coming to America, the first one when Eddie Murphy was supposed to get married to the lady, and he was like, "Hey, what do you like?" And she was like, "Whatever you like." And he was like, "Hop on one leg." He was like, "Bark like a dog." And she was like, "Oh, yeah." I use that as an example to say that people are going to be like that, and it's going to be so surreal. And sometimes you might step back and look at them, and you might be like, "What in
the hell? Who the hell left the gate open?"
It's gonna be different. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very revealing, but it's gonna be, man, it's gonna be amazing. That's the that's the thing. But it's for us to just be in that moment.
I more than received that, and let me tell you why. Typically, I'm the person that's like, I'm here for all of that. Like, is the world ready for me? That's the Shantay I used to be. Now I'm like, whew, somebody please get a hold of that child, because something and somebody just hold on to her. Because if you don't, she definitely is going to do more than what she was meant to be doing, in the good way and the bad way and the wrong way. I have another guest coming through on wisdom. This is Miss Sasha Orbitz. Let's give her a chance to speak and share her wisdom. Wait a minute. I think it went away. So what I want to talk about with fears is the parts that we don't face, the parts that we're afraid to face. See, I've learned from my own experience, and I'm going to share how I got to this topic of discussion, this podcast talk. Because when I tell you my spirit, whoo, child, honey, put a whooping on my ass, my head, my heart. And it made me surrender, whether I wanted to surrender or not. But what I've come to realize is that we have more than one layer of fear when it comes to our personal fears. So one, we have the fear itself, whether we know what that fear is or we don't know what that fear is and where that fear came from, the W's, the who, what, when, where, why, how, and sometimes you. And sometimes the letter Y, which is still you. We have layers of fears. So we have the actual fear, and then we have the fear of facing the fear, and then we have the fear of nurturing the fear. We have the fear of speaking the fear. There's fear on top of fear, on top of fear, on top of fear. And it does more than cripple you. I don't even remember where I wrote it at. I don't know if I put it on my daily affirmations. Child, y'all gonna have me crying up in here because somebody is going through it. Woo! Ugh. I'm light skinned. I can't cry. I turn red. But I wrote down that the fear is the seed of dis-ease. When you let fear settle into you, it's as if you've planted a weed that just won't stop fucking growing, no matter how many times you douse gas on it, no matter how many times you douse bleach on it, no matter how many times you rip that weed up out the ground. It's like it just spreads no matter what you do. And the only way you get rid of that fear is you have to go face that fear. And sometimes that fear may not even be something that you got to fight with. That fear may be something that you have to love. And Crazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony, y'all please give him a round of applause. I asked him today, I said, what is the one thing that you had to face the most out of a personal fear? And he said, knowing when to love my fear. You have to love those fears because they're there for you to grow. They're there for you to change. They're there to encourage you. They're not there to cripple you, but that's what we allow them to do. So I'm going to share a story, and I'm going to make this as quick as I can because I am my grandfather's child. And I can be long-winded for no reason at all. But what kicked this off was, of course, we all came into 2022. We all like, yes, I got this. This my year. Woo woo! Personal prosperity, abundance. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. New me. Ain't no new me. I got this. We was, all claiming it, right? So today, of course, is D-Day. The day we decide that we're not gonna, we've cut off and decided that we can't accomplish what we set ourselves out to do. Well, about 5 days ago now, so I want to say on the 13th or the 12th or the 13th of this month, so this week, I made a post on Facebook and I said, I don't want to be a doula anymore, a birth doula. And then I said, but every time I turn around, somebody's coming telling me that they're pregnant. And I get more excited than the person that's telling me that they're pregnant. And I just start talking. And before you know it, that long-winded me comes out. And I'm just like, blah, 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 blah. Because I want the woman, the mother, the parents to be well knowledged in what they are able to do with their pregnancy, with their birth, with their labor, delivery, all of that thing, all of those things, the postpartum. I want you to be able to know how to move, how to have extra shit, because in this day and age, everything is surrounded by going to the medical, going to the doctors. You have to do this, you have to do that. My hands are sweating. So I made the post and my cousin jumped on there and she said, "Cuzzo, you can't hide from your calling. If that's your calling, that's your calling." So in my mind, I'm still like, child, okay. I don't want to be a doula anymore. Never took it off of my list of things that I do. And I kid you not, on the 14th, someone inboxed me and asked me to be her doula. And I'm saying to myself, didn't I just share this shit and say I didn't want to be a doula anymore? Did anybody listen? And then I started waking up every night from the moment she contacted me at 4 a.m., whether it was 4 o'clock, 4:14, 4:04, 4:44, 4:22. It was always something to do with 4. Now, me being spiritual, I'm like, what the hell? Let me figure out what this is, because I know what the witching hours are. So I stayed up because I was wide awake and I was tired. And I was like, why the hell am I up? I stayed awake. By the time I realized it, I looked at the clock and it was 4:15. Felt like I had been up for hours. I looked at the clock again. It was 4:44. And then finally I was like, I'm going to scroll on my phone because I know if I scroll on my phone, I'm going to get tired of Facebook comments and then I'm going to want to go to sleep. By the time I started doing this, it was 5:55. And this happened yesterday, Tuesday morning, that this energy was going on. So something resonated in me and was like, hey, you should probably find out what it means to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So, of course, me being me, knowing my dreams, how to decipher dream messages and shit like that, I go to looking through things, my books, my arsenal. And I read, it's like, you're focused on things that happened in the past that may have hurt you. You need to let them go. So, I'm checking it off. Nope, not me. I ain't got to worry about that. You're running from your path. Nope, not me. I ain't got to worry about that. I'm a spiritual life coach. I'm a sex doula. I'm a labor and birth doula. And I got my podcast. I'm doing my damn thing. I'm in my purpose. And then it says, you have a fear of success. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Kind of got that. I'm going to raise my hand a little bit, but put my head down because I'm ashamed. And then it was like, it related the two of me, of a person ignoring their spirituality. And I can admit I have been off my spiritual shit because I ain't have a planner in the beginning of the year. So I was like, fuck this shit. I went through COVID. COVID showed me some shit that I didn't really want to see. So it was like, fuck this shit. And I went back to sleep. Now, when I first woke up, I was like, going through my mind. I'm like, I need to go back to sleep. I have so many things that I need to get done when it's time for me to get up. And it's 4:44. It's 44 minutes and 44 seconds on this damn clock for the amount of time that we've been on here. And the time is 5:50. So I'm just letting these numbers settle in with y'all. So when I fell asleep, I finally got tired of looking on my phone and, looking through my arsenal of spiritual stuff to figure out what the hell was going on while I was waking up at 4:00 in the morning for the past 4 days. So I go to sleep and I start dreaming. And when I tell you these were no regular dreams, they were not regular dreams. I've never in my life had dreams the way I dreamed yesterday. I started dreaming, and I was dreaming that I was exercising because that was on my to-do list for yesterday, which I actually got a chance to do. So in my dream, I'm jogging, and I'm jogging by this school that I used to pass on my way to work at my old job about 4 years ago. And I'm looking at these people like they're running up this hill, as I had mentioned with Damon earlier in this show. And the hill was sand. So I was seeing people running up this hill, sand of hill of sand, however you want to put it. And like every step they took, it was kind of like capturing their feet and almost like encasing it where they couldn't move. And I was like, ooh, child, I don't want to go that way. That's too much for me. Like that, I'm not finna make myself struggle. But I'm still jogging on the sidewalk, watching all of this go on. And the closer I get to the top of the hill at this school, the grass starts. The sand turns into grass, pretty green grass. The sun is shining beautiful. So I go from like this desert view to the Sahara desert view to this beautiful grass that's shining on the getting closer to the top of the hill. However, I'm still seeing people struggling as they're running, like they struggling to run up the hill. I'm like, I don't understand why the hell people think it's so smart to run up a hill. You got a long way to go. And then I'm looking at people that's running down the hill, and I'm like, I don't understand why these people running down the hill. You could fall and break yourself, twist the ankle. That shit hurts. I don't want that. So I'm like, I'm gonna stay over here where I'm at. I get to the top of the hill, ease with no problem, no stress, no struggle. And I'm looking at everybody else going through shit. And I get ready to walk into the school. I walk into the school and I look to my left. There's this long ass hallway. And I'm like, nope, I'm not going down there. Looks like a hospital. And then I look straight ahead and I see this short hallway. So I'm like, I'm going to go this way. And as I go this way, prior to me walking into this school, I hear people talking about this lady that had just given birth to 5 babies. And I just so happened to go down that hallway where they had put her in her room. Sorry, I'm plugging up some cords here. And I see the lady, she's sleeping. Now, for the life of me, I don't understand why they had laid these babies, her 5 babies, in the bed with her. It's one of those big ass hospital beds in the dream. And she was asleep and her babies were at her feet. She had girls and boys. She moved some type of way and accidentally kicked one of her babies and knocked the baby the baby was falling on the floor. I caught the baby and she woke up I touched her and she woke up simultaneously. And she was like, oh my God, thank you so much. I didn't know that then. She was just going through these emotions. And I'm like, it's okay. Like, you're fine. It's okay. Like, you're not a bad mom. And she starts crying. And, I get her to calm down. And we have this conversation. Now, while I'm dreaming, I literally wake up out of my sleep. And I'm looking out the window because I like to watch the moonlight before I fall asleep, but I'm still dreaming. So I close my eyes and I see a very shallow image of my ex standing behind me. And he puts his hand on my shoulder and he says, I believe in you. And he's steady saying, I believe in you. And I'm kind of like pushing him away, like, shut up, leave me alone. You're irritating me. And the lady says, the mom of the 5 babies, she says, can we please keep in touch with each other? Can we exchange phone numbers? And I say, yeah, sure, no problem. I give her my phone number and then I wake up. And I'm like, what the hell? Okay, forget it. Yes, I'll be a doula. Now, the crazy part of this dream, because there's 2 more cycles to this dream that happens with my ex, because he's dreaming about me in his dream, and I'm dreaming about him being present in my dream. In real life, in my real life, I wrote this postpartum journal because of experiences that I had, and I know other women that had. And I started facing those things that were like hurting me, as I had learned. When you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you're running from something that hurts you. And I'm like, holy shit, this all makes sense. I woke up later that day. I text my friend. I'm like, sis, I got to tell you what happened. I tell her what happened. And she's like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. I tell my son is 16. He's about to be 17. He said, Mom, you have to do this. I know you don't want to. I know you don't feel like it's you anymore. But that lady called you in your dream. That lady called you in person. And that lady in that dream had 5 babies just like you. Child, when I tell y'all I was crying like a little baby, I was like, I don't want to be a doula, but I guess I had to be a doula. I was crying because of happy tears, like, I can be successful. I am successful. I've already done this. So what the hell am I allowing the hurt and the pain to hold me back for? I have another guest coming in. If y'all got questions, please chime in. This guest, I'm going to say, oh, Kiki. All right, guest is joining in. 3, 2, 1. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? I'm not hearing you. Let me see something. Oh, can I change this? No, I don't want to do that. Keep. I'm not sure why it's doing this. I can't hear you. So we're going to leave it going. You got about 9 minutes because it's put it on a timer. I didn't know that there was a timer for a guest to speak. But yeah, so as the day went on, I made a post on Facebook. I was like, Lord, I've been in tears all day for a good reason. And I'm happy. Like, eventually I talked with my ex and we, had our little moment of whatever you want to call it. But I'm happy I had those revelations. I'm happy that I experienced the things that were holding me back and that are attempting to hold me back. The things that the fears and the I can't even, incarceration I placed on myself. I'm glad I had that moment because it took that and more to come from that in order for me to just be able to stop and be still long enough so I can see the picture that is in front of me. So I'm able to slow down and do the things that I want to do and manifest in ways that I can manifest and that I'm capable, because I don't want to control everything that goes on in my life. I want to be caught by good surprises. I like good surprises. I like gifts. I like those random moments of I love you. I like those random moments of you did it. I like those random moments of come on girl, let's go do this because look what else somebody wants you to do, or look what else you've been blessed to do. I don't want to control everything. I don't need to be in the know of everything, because if I'm in the know of everything, I'm going to block something because of me not knowing what the fuck I'm supposed to do. So I'm going to share a couple of things that you can do to open up and release those fears. So, depending on the situation, the experience, you have to learn how to either nurture your fear or cater to it, or you have to learn how to embrace it, face it. Like, what the fuck is this fear about? What caused this fear? And one of the most powerful things I can say that immediately takes a switch and flips the switch or causes the shift is to speak. Speak that hurt, speak that pain. Okay, so Mr. or Mrs. Okiki, your mic is muted. That I'm seeing a muted mic. So speak, like, speak that hurt, speak that pain, speak what you feel is that fear. Speak that fear out loud. Talk to that fear. People think you're going to, they say the worst thing you could do is ask yourself a question and then turn around and answer your question. Honey, you better ask and answer all damn day long, every day, if that's what it takes for you to get over this shit. Journal. Another thing that you can do is act on your fears. Now, I'm not telling you to go out here and do nothing stupid. I see 666, 4 6s, 24. There's another 6. I'm not telling you to go out here and do anything stupid. Like all these dumbass challenges. Don't do that. What I'm telling you to do is, if one of your fears, like me, was being a doula, even though I've been a doula for years. I've been a doula before I became a certified doula. But if one of your fears is being a businesswoman, then go pick a name for your LLC and start that shit. So act on your fear. Okay. Yep. We acted on it. We did something. Okay, what's next? That's going to increase your confidence, your ability. And just like the jester said earlier, this shit is all mental as fuck. It's not because of what we experience. Yes, we have experiences. Yes, there are things that happen in life that, we are afraid of in that moment. But if you don't do anything about it, then it's just there. It's either way it goes, you're not doing anything. So act on those fears, speak those fears, journal those fears, talk about the emotions that come with those fears, and then give yourself some grace and unconditional love. Be that inspirational person that you are with other people to your damn self. Physically, another thing that you can do that is very spiritually is go in a room where you feel safe enough to turn off the light. Close the door, turn off the light. But I will also want you to take you a notebook, pen and paper, notebook, however you want to put it. And I want you to take a tea light candle. It doesn't have to be any fancy type of candle. You can take a box of matches. You can take a lighter. And I want you to just sit in that dark room. And I want you to write out your fears in the dark. Not being able to see the lines on the paper, don't focus on that. Because that's controlled fear. I want you to be able to be free in your fear. And when you finish writing out those fears in complete darkness, I want you to light a candle or strike a match, light your cigarette lighter, turn on your little LED light, a small flicker of light, nothing huge. And then I want you to counteract those fears with love from your heart that you scribbled all over that paper with no direction, without any sense of this is where this is going, this is where I want it to go. No. And when you're done writing it with that small little flicker, because typically when we're in a place of fear, it's usually darkness surrounding us. And we have to be strong enough to find the light, be the light, and then be brave enough to turn on the light and see what the hell we're running from, which is ourselves. is 6:04. That is a number of alignment. I'm going to get out of here. I love you all. This has been such a beautiful episode. And I'm going to do this for shits and giggles because I feel like that person that was crying earlier, that had me about to cry. Let me give you some inspiration. Because, honey, I'm ready to be this doula. Even though I'm not ready to be this doula. My spirit scares me sometimes because I don't know what she be wanting. Peace is the card that came out for you, honey. And I don't know if you are on any other social media pages, but if you go to Facebook, Twitter, Facebook or YouTube and type in Woman of Life or at Shantay's Love, you will find me to find your card. If we could post comments in the Wisdom app, I most definitely would, but I can't. So here's the card on social media. It is a blue lotus flower, which represents your throat chakra and your upper heart chakra. And it's also in the shape of a sunflower as well. And it has orange around it, which is going to be your your sacral chakra. Ground yourself, my love. Stand in your ability to love, your ability to be free. Stand in your ability to feel your fear. You can't keep running from it. It's going to beat you where you're going, and it's going to hold you to keep you from where you want to go to. And I want you to, again, speak to these fears. Bring a sense of inner peace so that you may project outward peace. And give yourself the chance, the opportunity to transform your life, to transform your mental, your heart, your everything. Transform you. I'm not saying be a new you. I'm not saying add to the old you. And no. Stop all that shit. Throw all that shit in the trash. I don't care if you get a piece of paper and write down, fuck the old me, and like rip it up in pieces and throw it in the trash. Get rid of that. That's not who you are. That's who you've become because of life experiences and your own power and neglect of your power on holding yourself back. And I want you to write down, I am me. The me that I was destined to be. And start working from there. Now I'm really going to get out of here. You guys can find me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat. I make daily affirmations. I typically do daily readings. Right now I'm taking a break from doing daily readings because I am about to publish my second book, which is my journey of starting my journey to self-love. And I'm also working on creating a self-love forever workshop. Damon Alvarez, I see 555 on your comment, sir. And this workshop, I will be posting the dates and the cost, because in that workshop, you will get worksheets. You will get the new book of my self-love journey, and you will get a personal session, whether you want a reading, coaching session, whatever spirit says. That's what we're going to do. You'll get a personal session with me. So my postpartum journal is more than just a postpartum journal. If you read the topics, the journal topics, it definitely prompts you to learn how to take better care of yourself and learn how to ask for help. And it also teaches you how to help parents in general and siblings, people involved with new babies. Is on Amazon. The title is One Wound at a Time. So WOMB, like where a woman holds a baby, and then the wound itself at a time. And it's the author is myself, Mrs.Shantay McKinney. What else? Podcasting, we do this every Wednesday. And You guys stay tuned. Hopefully next week I'll be able to give you a date on when this workshop will be and let you know where the link is found as well. I love you guys. Please take a moment to love yourself before you love others. And I'm getting out of here. That is my peace, my love, my life, and just a little bit of my eternal life. Have a great Wisdom of the Week Wednesday.